The future of work is automated. Welcome to Aivora.
In 2007, Crytek released Crysis. It had a new trick called screen space ambient occlusion. Shadows magically appeared in corners. Players felt immersion. But those shadows were fake. They were a clever illusion. Game graphics would never look the same. But here's the thing, the corners in your favorite game? They don't look like that. There's a hidden problem. The darkening is inconsistent. It bleeds, it misses, it overdarkens. The illusion breaks when you look closely. Nobody tells you this, but the industry knew. Which means for years, game developers were tricking your eyes with a cheap hack. So the question is, what was the fix? In 2012, a paper exposed everything. It was titled "Corners Don't Look Like That." It changed how we think about shadows in games. Let me show you how SSAO works. A shader samples the depth buffer around each pixel. It checks if nearby geometry is occluding light. Then it darkens that pixel. Sounds smart, right? But the sampling is random. Sometimes it misses the real corner. Sometimes it overdarkens flat surfaces. Crytek's implementation used a small set of random vectors. Cheap and fast. But corners require precise geometry. The random samples often hit the wrong surfaces. So you get dark halos around objects. Or corners that are too bright. The illusion was unstable. In 2008, NVIDIA's Timothy Lotties proposed horizon-based ambient occlusion. HBAO used a different math. It traced horizon angles instead of random samples. Corners became more accurate. But it was slower. Developers stuck with the old fake. Speed mattered more than realism. The truth is, until 2012 nobody published a rigorous analysis. Then came the paper, "Corners Don't Look Like That," regarding screen space ambient occlusion. The authors collected hundreds of real corner images. They compared them to game renders. The difference was shocking. In the real world, corners darken gradually. Light bounces inside. The occlusion is soft, smooth, and consistent. SSAO produced sharp, noisy, uneven darkening. The paper called it the corner problem. Developers had been ignoring physics for years. Here's what I found: the paper created error heat maps. Red zones showed where SSAO darkened too much. Blue zones where it missed. Corners were almost all red or blue. The illusion worked only for eyes that didn't look too closely. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. So what was the fix? The paper proposed a new sampling strategy. Instead of random directions, use a weighted distribution that prioritizes corners. It's called importance sampling for AO. It requires more samples. But with modern GPUs, it finally became practical. Drop a like if this surprised you. After 2012, engines started adopting better SSAO. CryEngine 3 got a new corner-aware AO. Unreal Engine added multi-bounce AO. Even mobile games improved. The paper silently changed the industry. But most players never noticed. But even today, most games still use screen space methods. They're cheap and fast. Ray tracing can do perfect occlusion, but it's expensive. So the 2012 corner problem hasn't fully disappeared. It just got better. We traded sharp errors for subtle ones. The paper also warned about visibility bias. SSAO assumes everything outside screen is empty. So corners near the edge of the screen get wrong occlusion. Games solved this with temporal filtering. But the bias remains. It's a hidden cost of screen space tricks. At GDC 2012, the authors presented their findings. Developers in the audience had an aha moment. Some admitted their AO was a hack. The talk inspired a wave of research. By 2015, most AAA engines had corner-aware AO. The paper became a cited classic. Let me give you an example. Battlefield 4 shipped in 2013. Its SSAO still had the corner problem. but a patch later improved it. Assassin's Creed Unity used a hybrid AO that reduced errors. But even today, corner artifacts appear in some games. The paper's lesson is ongoing. What about Rockstar? GTA 5 used a basic SSAO. Corners looked muddy. Red Dead Redemption 2 upgraded to a more advanced AO. But even there, corners near foliage had issues. The 2012 paper explains why. It's not a bug, it's a fundamental limitation of screen space reasoning. So where are we now? Some researchers use neural networks to predict occlusion. Others combine screen space with sparse ray tracing. The 2012 paper taught us one thing: real corners are physically complex. No cheap trick can fully replace them. Honest approximation is better than fake perfection. If you're building a game or just love understanding graphics, hit subscribe. I break down the hidden tech behind every frame. From ambient occlusion to ray reconstruction. I'll show you the secrets game engines don't want you to see. Subscribe now. Because understanding corners changed how I see games. And it will change how you see them too. The next time you walk into a virtual room, look at the corners. You'll see the history of a decade of research. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Next up, why your games still look blurry, the hidden war between temporal anti-aliasing and motion clarity. We'll look at how TAA smears corners and why DLSS might be the real fix. Subscribe so you don't miss it.